and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lena. If you haven't been here before, welcome. What I do here is talk about books and occasionally talk about existential crises I'm having. You're lucky enough to find yourself in the existential crisis category. Welcome. So it is the 31st of December 2018 and I was not planning to make this video. I wasn't planning to make this video because my life is going okay. I had already planned my New Year's resolutions, which is a video that I probably will make very soon about all the things that I want to tweak in 2019. I don't want to say change, the things I want to tweak in 2019. And because I have realised from my past behaviour that I really like the idea of change and I'm very bad at executing it on a long-term basis. I also seem to have a lot of feelings about how I want the world to be, relatable content, but very much struggle to enact that in the small daily choices I make. If I'm alone in that, I will be shocked. I have for a long time had a very confusing relationship with consumerism, partly because I think that I grew up with unmaterialistic parents who are wonderful and lovely, and part of my rebellion as a teenager was to want the sweatshopped plastic shit available in my city centre where things like youth clubs and art projects weren't widely available to my friends. So while I think my parents made sure I had access to those things, and because of like being from a church background and my parents literally spending a lot of time ferrying me out to other cities and other places where there were activities for teenagers. A lot of my friends, shopping is the thing that most people have access to in most of the UK. That is like the one thing that I'm like, people who grew up in London, man, you had it so good. But like in so many city centres, like the only things that is left are shops. Anyway, I think I'll go more into that in another video. I feel like I've always felt like somebody who thinks that money isn't important, but I'm also quite careless with money at times, and in certain parts of my life, especially when I've been more unhappy in my life. And it's been really interesting to think about that now I am turning 29. Because I really just feel like I want to solidify. I'm kind of freaking out about being 30, but also like so super woke and not freaking out about being 30, while also secretly really freaking out about being 30, even though I'm really woke and feminist and age isn't a number and nothing's really floating away from me. But I'm trying to think about my panic with turning 30 in terms of like solidifying who I want to be, because I feel like I've been a lot of people in my 20s and I am all of those people, but I now get to choose which ones I want to bring forward into the next decade. And money, the scarcity of it, the illiteracy I have around money has always been a huge stressor for me. And there's actually like really shocking times, I think, in the last 5 years, I think, where it's really affected like how healthy my mental state is. I wouldn't said I have mental health problems like as a definitive thing, but I think I was very unhealthy mentally around the panic around money and its relation to power and independence. Ugh. Anyway, today I found these videos by Hannah Louise Poston. And 2018, while I've been pansing around doing other stuff, she's been doing a no-buy year. I'm going to link the video that I have now watched 3 times today because it shook me. I am shooketh. Consider me shakenage. And I noted down some points that particularly rattled my sense of how I'm acting and being and doing is fine. When I don't think it is now. Good. The concept of trained shopping behaviour and being trained by a consumer market, like your brain is being trained. Now I think like I'm somebody that's quite open to believing that my brain has been trained certain ways and is kind of like on the lookout for it a lot, accepting that my brain has been trained without my permission or conscious awareness, and that not meaning that I'm a bad person or I'm stupid. And I really think that what she has to say about the idea of being trained in a consumer mindset, which means like having it as a regular topic of conversation with your friends about what you're going to buy next, wanting to want stuff, so actively going to sites and shops to see what you might want rather than wanting something and then going to a shop, which is surely the original purpose of shops. Like, are they not just larders for things that we actually need so we can go to them and get the things and enjoy them? And she had this insight into like wanting to want stuff. So like having the next thing on your wish list of a thing that you want to buy. Having a thing, the next thing that she wants, meant in her mind that she had access to pleasure, because the promise of getting that thing meant that pleasure was on the horizon, and security and like that dopamine was on the horizon for her when she got it. It was a thing to look forward to that wasn't real. Because once you get a thing, you kind of like get a bit bored of it and maybe want the next thing, and it becomes like intrinsically less exciting once you actually own a thing. And I was like, oh no. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is what she talked about when she talked about what we talk about when we talk about cold turkey. She talked about this idea of like going all out hard, like guns blazing, strict doesn't work, and how it's not really like scientifically true. Like your mind is much more likely to change if you stick to something and are strict with yourself and alter your behaviors immediately, rather than like slowly cooling down on things, because you're still letting those behaviors in your life and you're not retraining your brain to think differently. The reason I've put in the thumbnail I'm sick of myself is because I am kind of sick of myself, like not in a self-deprecating I'm not worth anything self-confidence issue kind of way, but more in a like I'm sick of hearing my friends are like explicitly like it's totally fine. People actually say it to me. They're kind of like, oh really, when I'm like, I've got a new thing that I'm doing in my life. It's a new thing. And I'm like, it's a fad is what they hear, and I'm like, this is a totally new idea that's going to change my whole life, and I'm altering all of my life to revolve around this idea. And they're like, really, Lena? Oh my god, another thing. And like I do it a lot, like, and my life has changed. It has been altered by certain books and certain practices, and I'm proud of that. But like it often takes a few tries, because I never do it cold turkey, and I am always like cheating on it with myself, because I believe to myself to be an inherent rebel. See, I do loathe, like there is a part of me that does loathe myself, but like in a kind of like, I deserve to live and be better, and I think I'm quite funny and an affectionate, like you like a friend that's kind of a dickhead. That's kind of how I like myself right now. But I'm like sick of hearing myself saying that I'm going to change things about my life and not do it. And like it's kind of like why I've nearly hit 50,000 words, guys, on my novel, kind of because I am passionate about it, and because I love writing, and because it really excites me, and it's something that I want to do more of in the future, but also because I kind of was sick of hearing myself talk about how I was going to write a novel. Oh, we're writing a novel. Ooh. Like so sick that I actually did it. Like sometimes I wonder in part if I did it to shut myself up. So I'm sure a lot of my friends are going to watch this video and what I'm about to say about my plan for the next 6 months and go, oh Lena, another day, another fad. And they'd be completely correct in that. In fact, I'm kind of sitting with them in the wings, looking on stage and thinking, oh God, Lena, here we go again. Slow shake of head. But what I would like to do, not for a year, because let's make goals realistic. Cold turkey is important, but how big is the turkey? If you're gonna have a cold turkey, you've got to weigh the size of the turkey. How cold is the turkey? Like how, there's still variables in a cold turkey concept for me. But for 6 months, I want to do a no buy. That doesn't mean a no shop. She stipulates in her videos, and I agree with. So I will be allowed to buy things to replace things that I already have if they run out. Or if I need them, and need is a very strict concept, guys. I'm going Trunchbull on the strictness. To the best of my ability, time-wise, I'm going to try and document that. An example of a fad that I've been trying to do recently, that is only just the tip of the iceberg, is that I decided about 2 weeks ago that I was going to do this declutter challenge where I get rid of, on the first day you get rid of 1 thing, on the second day you get rid of 2 things, on the third day you get rid of 3 things, the fourth day you get rid of 4 things, and you do 30 days of it. And at the end of the last day, you get rid of 30 things. And I started that, and I started recording it, and I realised 2 things. One, it's piss boring. Like, I am very passionate about not putting out videos that I would not watch, and I would not watch this video, so I stopped making it. And also, I got quite excited about decluttering and getting rid of loads of shit, that I found that I was hanging on to stuff so that I could film that part of the video about it and not just getting rid of it. So perhaps I'll do another video about all the stuff I have got rid of and why. I started getting rid of stuff in bulk without counting it or thinking about it, and kind of abandoning the challenge in the name of the goal, which was really good. So I am still proud of that, even though I did not complete the 30 days. I definitely got rid of enough things to add up to how many things I would have got rid of. But that has just sparked me assessing the stuff that I already have. Like, I feel like I don't even know the stuff that, like, if you ask me, there's certain things that you'd be like, do you have that? And I'd be like, I don't know, I'd have to take a look. Or you'd ask me about a book that I had, or a face product that I owned, and you could go, oh, how is that product? How is that book? And I'd be like, I don't know, because I don't actually know anything about the stuff in my own collection of stuff, because I haven't had the time to use it. And that is something that's finite when I'm thinking about it. Oh my God, is that time is finite. Money might not be, but you can't enjoy all the things that you buy. And privilege is being able to buy more things than you can use. And that is disgusting, and kind of like cool on a small level. Like, it's cool to be able to support artists and like buy things that have been well designed by clever humans. But like, there is a huge extent to which that is gross. In a selfless way, I'm kind of like, how else could I use that money? I already give to charities. Can I up that? Can I think more about the way I use the resources? And also, like, can I stabilize myself earlier in my life so I'm less dependent on money as I get older, so that I can be more generous as I go into life? Because I've been renting for nearly 10 years, and I worked out how much money I have spent paying other people's mortgages, and it's kind of almost the price of a mortgage. So that's cool. So yeah, just like, not even just like immediately like, oh, I'm gonna take all my clothes and give them to homeless people, or I'm gonna immediately feed the 5,000. But like, in the long term, making myself financially stable and lowering the costs of what I need, and saving, is in the long term going to allow me to be more generous with my time and my resources, surely. I'm kind of thinking about this aloud, because I didn't want this to be a polished, like, hey, here's how you do it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to struggle with this so much. This is going to be so hard. But I wanted to make this immediately because I really resonated with this idea of seeing yourself as somebody who can't follow rules, and whether that is a quirk of your personality or something you should probably work on. And I think in the past I've thought about it as a quirk of my personality, and actually I'm kind of like, do I want to be the kind of person in my 30s that can't reach their own goals because they're quirky and they don't follow rules and they break them all the time? Ha ha ha, naughty naughty. Woo-hoo-hoo. Like, is that the person? So I want to follow these rules, and I will, and if I fail, it won't be because I didn't have enough luck or I like slipped up. It'll be because I chose to fail. Oh, that hurt to say, but it's true. It'll be because I chose to fail, and maybe I'll upload a video in a couple of months called I Failed, and it'll have a really clickbaity thumbnail with me like half crying, water emojis everywhere. But like, I don't want to upload that video, and I don't want to be that person. So why should you have to be somebody that you don't want to be? Like, it's the video I made ages ago called How to Find Yourself, and it's a video about how you literally choose who you are. It's not really something that inherent. It's something that you get to work on over time. So really, I should be following my own voice, is what I'm saying. Yeah, and I've also realised that I spent a lot of my 20s, and I don't regret the money that I spent in my 20s or the things that I spent them on, really, because it's led me up to a point where I kind of know how I want to be with money and how I want to be with things. And it's also like, I spent my 20s working out what I wanted. And I think that when you enter your 20s and you have this weird student loan that isn't really real money, and you have this freedom that you've never had before, you are aware in yourself that you should find out what you want. And those things can take a long time to find, but consumerism and brands and shops will immediately give you something really easy to strive for, whether that's like a top or a bag, or a new makeup palette that's like £50, and like things that you can like grab onto and be like, cool, at least I know, I don't know what I want long term, but at least short term I know who I am because I'm investing in these things that look like who I am, and I can wear them and people will know who I am because of the kind of eyeshadow I'm wearing. I'm an idiot. Know that. I'm not hating on other people, I'm simply loathing myself. But I've realised that I think I've spent my 20s quite well, because I finally think I know what I want, the next things on the list that I want to push myself to do. And those things require money. Some of them are secret projects, but they require money. Oh my God, not money. And I think I've spent a lot of my like time thinking about myself and being like, people who want money are greedy. People who save are obsessed with money. And people who know about all the tricksy, twisty, dodgy ways of investing money and doing money, otherwise known as financial literacy, Lena, are like snakes in the grass, like weird people who know how to do their finances. What Scrooges. I don't want to be like them. I'm not going to care about money. What a ridiculous mindset. There is a spectrum there, and I think those people do exist, but I think there's also people who are using the resources that they have, because money is essentially time and energy, like that you either have already put in and have, or somebody's passed down to you, or that you have created in some way, or that you have received in some way. That's what money is, like, which is why we think that people who inherit money are lazy, which a lot of them are, because their money is energy that they didn't create. And then they're not using that energy to be able to use their energy for something that doesn't pay, like volunteering or doing something that isn't a top earning job, because they're lazy, which I think we'll get into that later. Privilege comes in lots of forms, and that can be in a lack of expenses that you have to pay, a lack of time you have to spend somewhere. And it's not always in money, but sometimes it is. And what am I even talking about? You see, all the time that I spent browsing on the internet, because I do browse, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm so woke, and I don't like spend that much, and I'm like really not about material possessions. I just read a lot of books, which is true. I do read a lot of books, but I also spend a lot of time on shopping websites, and especially now I wanted to shop ethically, that kind of got a bit out of hand, and I bought a lot of ethical clothes in a very short space of time that I didn't probably need, mainly because I wanted to know about these brands and like review the brands and like blah, but also because I really got seduced by the idea of shopping again, especially when I was like, oh, now they're ethical. There isn't the same moral implications for me, but I also have to know that my shopping behaviour is damaging for me. And while I think that shopping is good, and I love like, oh my God, these Lucy and Yak dungarees, don't even start me. While I love a lot of brands and I think they're brilliant and I look forward to buying from them in future, I need to retrain my brain from the old way that I had of shopping and the old way I thought about consuming products before I can enjoy those properly. I think I need 6 months to recover my better judgment and my better reasoning and reflexes when it comes to stuff, because I get so like, if something sells out and I was going to buy it, I am fuming. And there's something that I want and I'm like, oh, I should wait to order it. I'm like, no, let's order it now because I can, because I've worked this hard to have a job where I can order a t-shirt sometimes and not have to think about it too hard. Like it's a right of mine. I wouldn't want to deprive myself of treats because I love myself, right? Self-confidence. Oh, anyway. So this is what I'm telling you is one of my New Year's resolutions. I have a lot more, they'll be coming. But I just wanted to upload this because I wanted to tell somebody, in case you felt this way, in case you wanted to watch this video that I found that I'm now obsessed with, and the whole channel, and in case you wanted to join me. I'm only going to do 6 months because I don't know who I'm going to be in 6 months, but I do have goals where I will need money, and that they're in the next 6 months. That's where I want to get to. I want to reassess where I am in July. I think that 6 months is a doable amount of time to promise myself, and then in 6 months the new Lena will reassess whether that is still a sensible thing to do. I've made some rules for myself about what I will be buying and what I will not be buying, and when I'm allowed to purchase things, which I can make another video about if you are interested in, because this one is quite long now, because my existential crises are a lot of things, but they are not brief. Thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments if you feel the same, if you've ever tried this kind of challenge before, what you think of it, the scale to which consumerism is bad and when it's good. In general, I think consumerism is bad, but do I want to buy circle skirts from the beautiful Etsy sewers who make these beautiful skirts that they have put artistic merit into? Yes. We're gonna go. That's enough now, Lena. We're sick of you. I know, me too. That's fine. Let's go. If you like this video, you can turn your ad blocker off, you can subscribe, you can share this video with a friend, And you could join the Gumption Club, which is a Patreon only group I run. We have a secret Facebook group that I live stream into. There's a free poetry collection. You can look back at 210 unlisted videos of mine from my past to join me in my despair of my past self. What an incentive. A link to joining the Gumption Club, if there's something that sounds good to you, will be in the description. And until next time, Frogs Log out.